Hello guys, I am back from another video and today it's about what if Deku had Quirk creation redo. So, in the last video we talked about how we started off the series with Izuku first being born after Asashi decided to divorce Inko. So, after deciding to hook up with a girl, this girl would be the one that births Izuku Midoriya. So, after she does, she would basically abandon him to an orphanage where some of the staff of the orphanage would basically didn't care that Izuku was being bullied by the other kids. Except for one, which she always cared for Izuku almost like a mother figure. So, when the other kids were basically just like getting their quirks checked, when the doctor basically goes towards Izuku and checks his quirk, he would be surprised, including the other staff members, telling, all of them that his quirk is quirk creation, which allows him to basically create any quirk that he desires. And so many of the other kids decide to do a 180 and basically decide to try and be nice to Izuku too, or reap the benefits of him basically able to make multiple quirks to basically give to them. But Izuku would basically see through their plans and basically start to leave the orphanage, never to be seen again. Many years later, he would make a gang and become the #1 villain of England. And so, he would wreak havoc and basically be a king, and somewhat has a god complex. But one day, he would be tired of it and basically give his, leadership role to one of his subordinates, basically telling them that he's done being a villain and decide to basically end off his, villain career with a bang. In this case, basically causing chaos in a nearby stadium while his arch nemesis by the name of Sherlock basically starts to fight him. After a while of fighting him, Izuku would fake his death by getting stabbed right in the chest by his sword. By his, nemesis sword. So, after getting, that happen to him, he would be thrown, or more specifically, his body would be thrown into the docks of the, British Channel, where he would be lost to the, specific ocean, never to be seen again. Or so they thought. Izuku faked his death as he would basically pretend to be a regular old, Joe Schmo, and turns out that he's near the, the, ocean of Japan, or the Sea of Japan. So, after being brought to a little, fishing boat by a Japanese, civilian, he would be brought towards the mainland of Japan, where he's going to be staying from now on. After arriving at a little, apartment complex, he would decide to live there, as he would decide to go out to maybe get some food. As it turns out, many people have been, going towards this one spot, and when he does see the events happening there, he would realize that apparently a villain has been, terrorizing this girl and trying to take her body. Don't even ask what is that supposed to mean. So, after basically saving her and also defeating the villain and capturing him and bringing them to the police, the father of this, girl would basically say thank you to him, but he would basically leave. But before he leaves, he would basically tell both of them his name. His name, Izuku Midoriya. After leaving, he would, eat dinner, as he would decide to maybe become a hero, and deciding to go to UA. Which, instead of a, high school, it's a college. So, yeah. So, that is basically what happened last episode. And so, let's talk about what happens next. So, Izuku's currently been planning on going to the, UA University for a while now, as he would basically get ready wearing a simple red jacket with a, a symbol on his back, specifically a cross, as he's just wearing black jeans, black boots, and just a simple under that black jacket was a black hoodie, which he's basically using the hood to basically cover his face. So, after doing that, he would start to go towards UA University. So, After arriving there, he would see many other students basically going there as well, basically getting ready to become heroes themselves. And so when he does arrive there, he would basically apply and also fake his quirk. What do I mean by this? Well, he would tell, or at least write in the papers, that his quirk is just a half and half quirk. In this case, a hardening quirk, which is Beowulf, and his, shadow manipulation quirk, which is just shadow manipulation. So, after arriving there at, UA University, he would start to go to his respective classroom to basically start off the first, part of the exam. In this case, the written exam, where he would basically finish it with fine colors, thanks to the help of a intelligence quirk and a mind reading quirk. Thanks to that, he was able to basically wait for a second, have the highest test scores out of all of them. So, he would basically start to leave as he starts to go towards one of the other parts of the exam. In this case, this exam, otherwise known as the practical exam. So, while he's waiting for everybody to basically, arrive, he would see a few people basically there. In this case, a girl with a similar hair color to his, which, after basically deciding to change his identity, it turns out he was faking his, original hair color and also eyes. His original hair colors were that one, aka the one green eye and the other weird eye, and also the green hair, which he don't know why his actual hair colors were these, but he just ignored it. But after noticing that girl has the same hair color as his, well, he would start to feel a bit, weirded out. So, he would basically be there just waiting for the other students to arrive, as the teacher would basically appear there, being a teacher with blonde hair and seems to have some sort of neck brace that seems to have speakers all around it. As he would say this, "Hello, students. The name's President Mike, and I'll be your representative. Now, I want all of you guys to say, hey!" As everybody would just be silent, as he would say this. Tough crowd. Anyway, so, we're gonna be starting off the little, exam. As he would basically explain the 0-pointer, 1-pointer, 2-pointer, and 3-pointer, things like that. As when he's about to go for or at least talking about the 0-pointer, one student would basically raise his hand and basically says this. Wait, but apparently there's supposed to be four robots in the exam in this pamphlet. And why you're saying that there's 3? I'm very disappointed in UA. As he would basically start ranting, saying that UA was irresponsible for making this little mistake, as Izuku would stand up, as he would say this. Hey, can you at least let the teacher just finish his little speech over there? And instead of just deciding to ruining it, as he would basically look towards him, as he would say this. Duh, you damn brat. He would basically say that, as he would notice that his hair is blue with blue eyes and seems to be wearing glasses. As he would say this. You dare talk to me, the brother of the hero Ingenium, I meant, as he would say this. Wait, Ingenium? As he would start to remember that he recognized that name. As he would say this. You mean that Ingenium? I meant Ingenium, as he would say this. Yes, that Ingenium. And he's my brother, so you better not talk to me like that, as he would say this. Alright, it doesn't mean that you have to be so entitled, eh? As he would start to, snap his fingers, as several portals would basically appear around him. In this case, portals of darkness. As these portals would start to transform into large, sharp blades, as he would say this. I think it's better for you to basically shut up already, and let the teacher basically finish off his speech. As he would say this. Fine. As he would basically start to go back to his seat, as he would basically snap his fingers once again, as the shadow swords would basically disappear. One of these students, specifically a girl with dark hair and dark eyes, would notice him, as when he looks over, it was the same girl that he basically saved last time. as he would say this. Ah, great, sir. As not principal, I meant, President Mike would say this. Thank you. Anyway, so, after talking about the zero pointer, they will be told to basically go towards their specific gates. So, after they gone to their specific gates to basically get ready for the exam or the practical exam, he would start to basically go there as he would basically go into a specific, fighting position. As when they were told to go, everybody would start going around the, fake city and start taking down some of the, wait for a second, start taking down some of the robots. Ezekiel would basically start to crush them all. Ezekiel would start using his, Beowulf quirk to basically just run through all the, robots, almost similar to like the Juggernaut. Basically just rushing through the walls of, I can't remember that person's name, but it's basically similar to that. So, he would basically just run forwards and basically just punch a hole through some of the not 0 pointers, I meant 3 pointers, as everybody would be impressed, including some of the teachers there, as one of them would say this. Dang, that kid is strong. As one of them would say this. Well, it seems that his quirk is quite interesting. As one of them would say this, being a blonde teacher, as he would say this. Then what is it then, Aizawa? As Aizawa would say this. Apparently his quirk is a half and half quirk. In this case, as he would basically throw the paper showing his, quirk, as it turns out that his quirk, or at least his quote-unquote quirk, is darkness manipulation and hardening. As one of them would say this. So is he related to this guy? As he would throw a paper with a kid with dark hair and red eyes, sharp teeth, and seems to have a similar quirk to him. As he would say this. I doubt it, because his quirk, or more specifically the hardening side of his quirk, seems to be a bit different. Look, as he would show a bit of footage of him basically just fighting through several of the, 1-pointers, as his skin would basically turn into a darkish color as several of his veins would be showing. His eyes turning into a different color as he would grow almost like a bigger jaw. Like a, how do I do it? What is that name of the Titan? Similar to the Jaw Titan from, Attack on Titan. As they would say this. This kid is quite interesting. Mind if as he would open some sort of, compartment, as a large button would appear. As one of them would say this. Principal Nezu, why are you, as he would say this. Well, I want to test out this kid. Because he seems quite interesting. As he would, jump up in the air, as he would basically push the button. As one of them would say this. So you're bringing out the 0-pointer now? As Ezekiel was still fighting some of the, not 0-pointers, I meant, several of the 2-pointers, as he would hear the sound of, of shaking earth. As he would say this. What the heck is going on? As he would look towards his back, as he would see a large robot. In this case, the 0-pointer looking at him. As Ezekiel would say this. Well, this is gonna be interesting. As he would basically grab, basically just holds his hands, from the side, as a black blade would basically appear, made from darkness. As he would say this. Now, this is gonna be fun. As he would basically start to charge forward and sees a girl basically trapped under some rubble. As he would notice that the girl is basically hurt and, well, injured. And she seems that she's going to be, squashed by the 0-pointer. He would basically run towards her and basically starts, grabbing some of these rocks and basically throwing them away. As he would grab the girl and basically, brings her towards one of the areas where some of the students are basically just deciding to just stop and basically just take a breather, and brings her there as Ezekiel would run back towards the 0-pointer as he would say this. So, this is the 0-pointer, eh? So, let's have some fun! As he would basically charge forward, as he would basically make a big slash towards, the 0-pointer, as a slash of pure shadow would basically pierce through the zero pointer, breaking through the armor and destroying him, as he would explode in a mass of color. As Izuku would say this. Now that was disappointing. As he would basically make the sword disappear, as he would say this. Oh well. I mean, it makes sense that it had to be not that powerful, so... As he would basically start walking towards the area where he put that girl. Which, this girl looks like she has brown hair, brown eyes, and chubby cheeks. As he would say this. So, are you okay? As she would say this. Yeah, I'm okay. As Izuku would say this. So, what's your name? As she would say this. Oh, you may call me, wait for a second. You can just call me Ochako. Ochako Uraka. As he would say this. Well, Mr. Uraka, really sorry for saving you there. As he would say this. Or she would say this. Wait, saving me? Why are you sorry? As he would say this. Well, I thought you might be mad or something like that. As she would say this. I'm not mad. I mean, you basically saved me from being crushed by that zero pointer. As he would say this. Anyway, I should probably bring you to the infirmary right now. As she would say this. Yeah, good point. So, after bringing her to the infirmary and also meeting up with, wait for a second. After meeting with, Recovery Girl, which Recovery Girl would basically smack him over the head, saying that was, like, completely reckless of him. But thanks him for basically saving that girl, because that's what true heroes do, he would basically say, as he would start to leave. And that was the end of that exam. So, as everybody is basically leaving, Izuku would basically teleport away with his teleportation quirk, as he would basically just wait around until the next day, where he gets his letter, and apparently he's gonna be joining Class 1A. So, after hearing this, he would say this. So, I'm gonna be in Class 1A. I see. So, wait for a second. So, the next few days have basically gone by while Izuku has been doing nothing but, just fool around, because he's basically super overpowered to the point that he's basically able to just basically crush his small government or something. So, yeah. So, he's basically just lazing around, doing nothing, as he's basically just been, training in his mind. What do I mean by this? Well, he made another quirk for himself, which is just called Mindscape, which allows him to just, go into a Mindscape and basically train there. And when he trains in that Mindscape, it would transfer all of the, knowledge into his body, for example, training his body, and it would basically just, appear in his body as well. So, after basically just, going into that Mindscape for a while, he would basically be shredded once again, as he would basically start to leave to go to his first day at UA. So, when he arrives at UA pretty early, he would notice that Aizawa is basically there, getting ready to fall asleep, as Izuku would say this. So, who are you? As he would say this. Don't talk to me, kid. I need to get some sleep. I'm tired. So, he would basically go into a sleeping bag as he would fall to the ground, as he would start to crawl away to the, desk in front of the class, as he would say this. Well, that was weird. So, he would basically go towards one of his seats, as he would basically sit down, as he would wait for the rest of his, other classmates. So, as his other classmates would basically arrive, basically just doing some fun stuff, as they would basically meet up, as they would see Aizawa basically waking up from his little nap, as he would explain that he is Mr. Aizawa. And so, everybody would start to go towards the, locker rooms after being told to go to the locker rooms to, do the, quirk examination test. So, Izuku would start to go to the boys' locker room, as several of the boys would see that he's completely jacked, as one of them, specifically a kid by the name of Kirishima, would say this. Whoa! Damn, you look awesome, bro! as you would say this. Bro, as you would say this. Yeah, I mean, I am jacked, but still, you're super jacked, as you would say this. Thank you, I guess. As one kid is basically just like glaring at him, specifically a blonde-haired kid with red eyes. As Izuku would basically ignore him, as he would start to leave with the rest of the other boys, as some of the girls were basically blushing, seeing Izuku basically just like, completely jacked, and also with that, moneymaker type smile. So, as some of the boys were basically just like glaring at him, some of the boys specifically, like, a certain purple-haired bald boy and a blonde-haired boy with a lightning symbol on his hair, basically just like glaring at him saying, I can't believe he got all of the girls fawning over him. So, yeah. So, Aizawa would explain that the first test is going to be the ball test. So, apparently, Izuku's gonna be first because apparently he got first place at the exam, as one boy, specifically the blonde-haired boy from, the locker rooms would say this. What? What? I'm supposed to be the number one here, not that damn kid! As he would say this. I'm guessing you're the prideful type, I'm guessing. As he would say this. What is that supposed to mean, you damn nerd? As he would say this. Nerd? As he would say this. Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. You're a damn fucking nerd. As he would say this. Okay, you damn weirdo. As he would be, given the ball, as Izuku would basically get ready to throw it. So, Izuku would basically just like, fling his arms forward as he would throw the ball as fast as he can, thanks to his strength enhancement quirk. So, after a while, basically just like going through the sky, it would fall a pretty good distance, as it turns out Izuku got an infinite. So yeah, everybody was completely impressed after knowing this, as Bakugo would be pissed knowing that, as Izuku would say this. Anyway, so as one of the people there would basically say this. Yeah, you were completely amazing. What's your name? As Izuku would say this. Izuku. I never really told you my name, so as one of them would say this. Hello there, Mr. Izuku. As he would look towards himself, not really towards himself, more like looking towards his back, as he would see a kid with half and half hair. As he would say this. You're quite strong. It's nice to meet you. As he would say this. Well, nice to meet you too, Mr. As he would say this. Todoroki. Shota Todoroki. As he would say this. Anyway, wait for a second. So, many of the other tests were pretty easy for Izuku thanks to his, wait for a second. Thanks to his ability to basically create his own quirks, he would get first place, and the blonde-haired kid by the name of Bakugo would get second place. And when Bakugo heard that, Bakugo would be pissed saying, that damn nerd, I'm supposed to be the number one here, as he would basically start to charge towards him, as Izuku would basically step back and basically creates a shadow-like tentacle, basically grabbing him by the arms and legs, as he would say this. I'm sorry, Mr. Bakugo, but I would rather not get myself hurt by you, but it seems that you decided to do that instead. As he would say this. You damn nerd! I'm supposed to be the number one here. I'm supposed to be the number one, not you or anybody else. As he would say this. Yes, spoiled brat. As he would basically pull him down to the ground, as he would basically kick him right in the stomach, saying, absolutely hate people like you. Anyway, hey Aizawa. As Aizawa would say this. Right, kid? As he would say this. Can I leave now? As he would say this. Well, class is over, so as everybody would start to go back to class and grabs their bags as he would start to leave. But before Izuku can leave, he would be approached by the girl, aka Momo Yaoyorozu, which Izuku called her name during the, quirk examination test, as she would say this. Hey, you must be the guy that saved me yesterday, right? As he would say this. Not yesterday, I meant a few months ago. As he would say this. Yeah? So, are you here to thank me? But, as she would say this. Yeah, I'm here to thank you. I mean, you did save me, so, as he would say this. Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, I don't really need a thank you or anything like that. I'm just, I'm just being a hero, okay? As she would say this. Oh, I see. As she would say this. Anyway, I should be leaving now. As she would basically just like give a little peck on his give a little peck on his lips. As she would say this. Bye. As she would start to leave. After touching his lips, he would say this. Did she just... As he would basically just like look around, seeing that nobody's there, as he would basically teleport home. As he would say this. Did that girl literally just kiss me? I mean, I did have several... No, did not think of that. As he would basically remember that one time where, back in his career of being a villain, he would have to do some dirty things to basically get his way. Especially if it comes to girls. One time he had to, have a bit of fun with a girl that one time, which, thanks to an aging quirk, he would basically age up to like a 30-year-old like man, and basically, had his first time with a girl. Well, he would basically never forget that. As Izuku would say this. But I already had that first time with that girl, even my freaking first kiss. But that girl's different. What the hell? He would basically start to get a little bit flustered as he would say this. Whatever. I should probably get some sleep. Yeah, I should probably get some sleep. So, after going onto his bed, he would basically fall asleep and try to basically forget that little, interaction with him and Momo Yaoyorozu. And so, this is going to be the end of this episode. So, I hope you liked the video, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!